Bangkok for 9 years now, through some ups and downs, a business that opened and closed, and even a relationship that came and went. Through all these ups and downs, I checked in at each of these points of change and thought about, is it time to go home? And the answer's always been no. So I'm going to talk, this video is about why I chose to retire in Bangkok and why a guy like me can find a really happy way of life here. You know, this Chao Phraya River has defined the culture of Siam and Thailand over the centuries. And this neighborhood, Song Wat, like I said, is emblematic of the kind of lifestyle that I find very comfortable. This is the old city. The old city is a man-made island that the Siamese settled when they were chased out of Ayutthaya, the original capital of Siam, which is now Thailand. They were chased out of there by the Burmese. They subsequently retook it, but at the time they came here to this part of Thailand because it was a place that they could protect. There were natural waterways that made it easy to dig canals and make an island of it and build fortresses on it. Now, this part of the island, it was the commercial part. It was where these traders worked in these old shop houses and and imported and exported the goods that came in and out of Bangkok. Like most commercial areas of its type, toward the mid and end of the 20th century, was replaced by more modern methods of trading, airplanes and railroads, and just logistics is not my field, but it changed rapidly during the second half of the 20th century. And what happened is these beautiful old shop houses started to be taken over by artists. And there are probably neighborhoods and cities all over the world that you could talk about that match this kind of vibe. From Brooklyn, what I would think of is the neighborhood that is now called Dumbo, which is an acronym for Down Under the Brooklyn and Manhattan Bridge, the Manhattan and Brooklyn Bridge, something like that. And it's just called Dumbo. When I was a kid growing up, it was a commercial waterfront, with longshoremen and warehouses, and it was actually kind of a dangerous neighborhood. There's a lot of mafia types down there. My father was a policeman down there. Now it's one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the world because it's gentrified, much like this neighborhood is gentrified, with young people seeking artistic expression. But initially, I guess about 20 years ago, some Western artists started coming in here, photographers specifically, and it became one of those kind of low-rent, artsy places where you could get a large space and set up a studio. There were painters and photographers, and over time videographers started moving in. But what happened after the COVID lockdowns, after the pandemic, there was a concerted effort on the part of the Thais to turn this into a kind of a development for an artsy development and make it more touristy. And that's indeed what they've done. And I like this kind of a neighborhood because it's, you can come and visit the galleries, visit the restaurants. There are many here that serve really, cool stuff. And there's bars and nightclubs. I'm going to take you to one of them as well. So yeah, this is just, I wouldn't want to live here because it's too late. If you're looking for the edgy kind of artsy neighborhoods with cheap rents and stuff, that's in the rearview mirror. That's past. It's more upscale now. But it is trendy. As a matter of fact, Time Out magazine listed it as one of the coolest neighborhoods in the world. I don't even know how they would rate that. Probably somebody paid for it. But yeah, this is a place now where people come to have Instagram moments. Song Wat is borders and is intertwined with Chinatown, very busy, touristy kind of area. I'm standing in Soi Nana. Soi Nana is one of the back alleys or back streets of Song Wat. That about 15 years ago, a friend of mine, a guy I met in California back in March, was here, and he was amongst the early artists that were moving into this area, photographers specifically. On this particular street, a lady photographer took over one of these shop houses, spruced it up a little bit, made it nice to live, and turned it into a studio for her photography expression. As my friend was at the time as well. He was an early photographer for some of the big digital platforms like Facebook and Instagram. He's still a techie living in New York now, doing very well. I don't think he's a photographer anymore. He's more like a big shot. I guess maybe a middle shot in that world. Big shots are really big. but yeah, what this lady photographer did is she recruited friends who, the kind of bohemian artistic folks that she liked, most of whom were photographers, and recruited them to come and rent these shop houses. And she filled up this street with foreign artists. Now, I don't know how many of them are left. Again, the artists that place the merchants are being replaced by expensive enterprises these days, because that's the way gentrification works. The artists paved the way, and then the business people say, hey, that's a cool neighborhood, let's move in and put some fancy stuff in there. And that's exactly what's going on here. As a matter of fact, oh, by the way, Nana, for those of you that know Bangkok, Nana is a very infamous place in Bangkok. That's Nana Plaza, is one of the entertainment zones. I love that euphemism. It's an entertainment zone is basically a cluster of go-go bars and whorehouses. But my friend Dennis operates it. If you're interested in that kind of thing in the other Nana Plaza, my friend Dennis manages a go-go bar there, Lollipops, a very congenial place to go hang out in one of the entertainment zones if you're into that kind of thing. I'm here tonight to go to dinner. One of the nicest Chinese restaurants in town is here. And it's kind of a special place. This is the restaurant, and it is just so beautiful at night when it's lit up. But I wanted to come, while the sun was just kind of setting, because I'm taking a video and I needed the light to shoot with. I'm not set up to do nighttime shooting, but what I'll do is I'll have dinner, and then I'll take a clip of the place, and I'll probably make a thumbnail out of it as well. This is the Bolo Bar on Soi Nana, and it's a restaurant more than a bar. I mean, they have a bar in there too, and it's a beautiful place. I'll take some shots of it later when the sun goes down, so you can get the full effect of the lighting that they have here. But the food is fabulous as well. If you like good Chinese food, this is the place to go. What we have here is a slightly spicy noodle soup with vegetables. There's a Chinese name for it, but I've already forgotten what that is. It's kind of like the Japanese soba noodles, but it's Chinese, so we won't call it that. Really good stuff. It's technically in Song Wat, the neighborhood of Song Wat, but it's right on the edge of Chinatown. Again, Soi Nana. Let's see if I can zero in on the sign there.